If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This 1-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. I cannot believe it's the 31st, and I am kicking off the 31st. Hopefully you're doing something fun tonight for New Year's, but I'm kicking it off with talking about my one word for 2022. I know usually people wait to do this the first week of January, but here I am. I'm like, you know what? In my head, the next year began October 1st, so I am there. I've been thinking about this word for the last month because I wanted to figure out what I wanted my year to look like. The truth is, I've never been a big believer in choosing the one word. I did it one year, a few years back, and I was like, okay, this is going to be the one word. And then I promptly forgot about it midway through January. But this year is a little different. The reason is because I personally have been in a mastermind, and I saw what this year looked like for me in work. And while I didn't have one word, it really was all about, the word's not perfection. I don't know what the word is. I just wanted to build something great. I wanted to do something that was going to be profound and helped others and let people kind of really start to feel in their own way what they were doing was powerful, wonderful, creative. And I knew that's what I was doing. And as I've been watching my Design Suite members, seeing boot camp members have like these aha moments, I have gotten so excited that I have been fulfilling the mission that I have been created to do. And so as I thought the last month about what I wanted the next year to look like, there was one word that came over and over to my brain. And so I thought I would share that with you guys. It is the most unsexy word. And I've never heard of anyone having this word as their one word. But for me, it makes a lot of sense. And it should be no surprise that this is my word since I'm a designer. So my word this year is visibility. Okay, you're like, Carina, I don't understand. I don't get it. So let's talk about it. I'm going to talk about it in terms of really breaking it down to how I see it. And if you're trying to come up with a word this year, you should do the same thing. I broke it down. I broke down everything into different categories. I know I have a girlfriend who does this for all of her goals. And so I did it for my one word because it will help me make my goals, right? So visibility. It's a little different than clarity because one of the things that kept coming up for me as I was writing it down was like a clear path or clearly seeing. But clearly seeing is visibility. It's not clarity. And I've had a lot of clarity for a while. I need visibility. So the 4 categories I've broken this down to is family, health, spiritual, and work. So those are the 4 I wanted to concentrate on. There's so many more. There are people, and you might be one of these, that need like maybe self-care is a category or personal is a category. You could have exercise instead of health be a category. So whatever you like, but these are the 4 I'm going to talk about today and how I am planning on implementing them with this word visibility. So let's talk about it in terms of, it was the easiest for work. I was thinking about it in terms of my business. And some of you have seen that at Carina Gardner, which is my Instagram handle for my fabric feed, has really been quilting for the last 2 or 3 years. I have really focused on helping people see how to show off their fabric line, my fabric line, or show off their quilts in my fabrics, and just really like use the materials that I've been designing for things that are pleasurable in our lives. Okay. And one of the things I realized is I love fabric. Fabric is one of many things I design. I design a lot of different things. And I really wanted to focus in on the thing that actually has been making the most good in the world for the most impact I've been doing, which is designing and teaching people how to design. And so when I really started thinking about that, and I finally just settled into it, thinking this, I need to be showing people that design isn't some scary secret thing they can learn how to do it, or don't want to learn how to do because it feels so scary, but it's actually something that's like methodical, and there is coursework for it. And if this is the life you want, if you have always wanted to be a creative who makes money, that it's totally possible. And I have been working on the program all year to make it the best ever. So many times I see programs out there that are really short, 2-3 months, or they're DIY. And I just was like, I don't want that. I want to create something that feels like university level, but so niched out that you can start making money right away. And I feel like I really created that this year. And it's been so powerful to me and so exciting to watch my designer members making all of these things. And so when I thought about this word visibility, I thought I need to make it very clear. I need to show and give other people hope and give them that visibility that design is this thing that anybody can do. You just have to do it every day, and you have to have strategy, and you have to work hard. There are these things you can do, but you can get there. And everyone is welcome. There are tons of designers out there, and there's more needed in the world, because the number of times I have people come to me and say, how do I find a designer? How do I find, and I know gazillions, right? Because I'm in that world, but most people don't know how to find a good designer. And that's, even though I teach crafting and fabric design, at the end of the day, if you are done with my program in a year, you should be a designer. You can design anything. We've actually even started recently a thread that's freelance design. So even though I'm teaching one kind of design, the goal is by the end, with all the coursework, with all the mentorship, with all the groups, that you're designing for whatever you want to design for, okay? Like a graphic design degree. So for work, visibility became key, because I suddenly thought there are things I need to do to make people understand and see that design is not some secret thing, but it's this wonderful lifestyle, creative lifestyle that you can have if you just do the work and find the right things and put the right things in place. So it was really easy for me. That's kind of how I got started with this whole visibility thing. Then I went and I started looking at family next. And what I wanted was visibility in my children's lives and my husband's lives, and visibility on how I could help them throughout the year. I've got 2 teenage daughters. One is going to college next year. She's going to stay at home, thank goodness. I'm so glad about that. And I have a freshman in high school, and then I have a little guy who's in 3rd grade. And I just really thought that this was the year I really wanted to pay attention to what's going on in their lives. And I wanted those things to be visible to me so I could address them, so I could help them, so I could help them build great lives. So I know it's like kind of this weird roundabout way, but there's no other word for it except for maybe investment. Like I wanted to invest in my kids, but that's not even it. Like I wanted to see clearly what was going on and how I could help. So that's how visibility is working in there. I know this is like, it's so overarching, but like when I keep it in my head, I know that it's going to be stronger than just setting goals. I believe in setting goals. You guys are going to know all about that. And if you're in Ink Club, we've already talked about goal setting. If you're in Design Suite, we've talked about goal setting. And I love setting up goals. But I also think that this one word thing can be really powerful if you really are concentrating it on terms of like just remembering every day how to use it. And so that's how I'm using it for family and work. Okay, next up, health. I have actually this entire month been trying really hard to eat a little cleaner. I haven't been exercising because I recently had a surgery and I can't exercise for a while. But I thought to myself, I care deeply about being strong, being able to show up for my family and show up for my members. And I was like, you know what? Like, I need to make the things in my house that we're eating in particular more visible. I know that sounds like a crazy way to go about it, but that's the way I kind of connected the dots for me. And that is, everything we do, we're seeing, and whatever my kids are looking at in the fridge, they're seeing. So how do I make the healthy foods more visible? And I've got some plans in place so that we can spend more time with the healthy foods, with the fruits and vegetables, the lean proteins, and all that other good stuff. Not a diet. We're not dieting. We're still eating carbs and sugar over here. But just trying to bring a certain level of health to what's going on in our house. That's easy for a lot of people. Like, I have a sister-in-law. Like, I feel like they are so good at staying healthy. They're just not super big foodies the way our family is. We love all the good food. And so how do we make some better choices? And I think part of that is by simply making the good food visible. Okay. And then the final thing for me is spiritual. Spiritual is really a big deal to me. I really care deeply about my spirituality. And I know so many of you out there have something that you believe in, something greater than yourself. If you do, I would really include that in what you're thinking about this year. So for me, I am taking this to an extreme. Like, I'm going to make sure that the scriptures and the books that I'm reading are visible to me on my nightstand so that I am paying attention. And one of the other things I wrote is that that the good things, the wonderful things that are happening in my life, that those things will be visible to me. So often, I think we don't pay attention to all the wonderful things that really are happening in our lives, and so we're not grateful for them because we don't see them. And I want them to be visible to me. I want to be grateful for them. I want to see them. And by seeing them, then I can remember all the good things that are happening in my life. To me, that's very, very spiritual. So, kind of physically putting some books in my area so that I'm paying attention and I'm listening, reading, and doing. And then secondary to that, paying attention to all the details in my life that are visible to me and that I can be grateful for. So that's my word of the year. Hopefully it's inspired you to start really thinking about maybe not even a word, but what you want. And actually a word will come to you, because that's how it happened for me. I was thinking about, what do I want my next year to look like? And as a designer, things that are visible to me, things that I see, those are the things I do, right? And so it just made a lot of sense as I started thinking about how I wanted this year to look. For you, it might be something totally different. Maybe you need to be brave this year. Maybe you need to have courage. Maybe you need to work hard. Maybe you need to have gratitude. I don't know what your word is this year, but center yourself on it and see if it brings you to a place of goodness. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful last few hours of this year. And I can't wait to see you in 2022. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.